Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video and hope you guys are doing well today. This video I'm going to be talking about how to build a build. And what do I mean by that? Well, Diablo 4 is a game with loads of options to theory craft your own build and the way you want to play, and that's great. That's what I really enjoy in games. But I want to talk about how you can go and do that. And you may not want to theory craft an entire build, but how you can possibly go around looking at individual things and creating something that suits you. So this can be a multiple episode kind of mini series, only a couple of episodes, but yeah, I wanted to talk to you through my process. So I'm currently switching to this new build, which the idea behind this build is going to be an imbuement penetrating shot build. My hope is that I'll be able to get some really big one shots. It should clear really well in terms of like corridor dungeons. It's ranged, which I think I'm actually going to prefer in this game, especially for like nightmare pushing. And I really enjoy the imbuement thing. I think come release and with optimized gear, you're going to be able to do some very, very silly damage with imbuments. So let's talk about it. At the moment, I'm literally just switching to. I've gone to like Diablo 4 builds or whatever calculator you want to use off game. I don't switch too much in game if I can help it because it's expensive. But yeah, so I've gone to an off build, off game website, and I've created a setup of skills that I want to use. And passives and things like that. I've basically created my whole tree, and that's all I'm doing now is putting that in. Now, again, I just want to reiterate that may change heavily. The whole point of changing these builds and theory crafting builds is that you start with like this core concept, but it changes as you go along. Um, One thing that's very evident in is Paragon boards. For me, the Paragon board that I've got at the moment that I created, well, I'll be honest, I didn't create it. I copied it off someone, and the reason I copied it off someone is because I just wanted to get in and see if I like this build before I put too much time invested into it. And I think that's a really good idea. Paragon board is one of those refinement things. It's kind of the end of the process, right? So if there's someone else that's created something very similar to what you want to build or anything like that, it's a very good idea just to go and have a look at their Paragon board and copy it for a minute. You can always respec it later, and at least this way you have something that's semi-working. I can guarantee you now I will pretty much rework this entire board if I stick with this build as I think I'm going to. So at the moment, like I said, I'm literally just copying copying pretty much point for point another build. When I go and create this for myself, what I'll do is work board by board. I will go and have a look at other builds. I think that's really important for people to remember as well. If you're trying to create or edit your build to suit you, go and have a look at what other people are doing. Because while I know some people want to be super unique or not look at other build guides, I totally get that. But there are some really brainy people out there. You don't lose anything by going and having a look and creating kind of an amalgamation of what different people have created. So, like I said, the build that I'm following at the moment is literally, or the Paragon board I'm following at the moment is literally just someone else's Paragon board. It's going to change massively. I've already seen like rare nodes that I don't want. I've seen glyphs that I can better optimize. I've seen boards that I can better optimize or pathing that I can better optimize. So there's so much you can change here. And again, we will go through this whole process as and when I get to each one. Um, One thing to remember is once you clear all of these, don't forget to put your glyphs back in. I completely did. I went out and started hitting things for like no damage at all, and you forget how much damage increase your glyphs can be. Um, which, yeah, I mean, yeah, go and put them back in. It helps. Funny enough. Yeah, so like I said, we're gonna put all them in, and then we're going to work on our aspects. Now, in terms of when do you transition into this build? So if you're theory crafting the build, you're building it on Diablo 4 builds or calculator or whatever. Um, you can when's the point where you go, okay, I'm now going to transition over to this build? Well, for me, I've probably done it a little bit too soon. I don't have two or three of the core aspects I want. One of which is critical strikes have a chance to give you a dark shroud charge. It's very, very core to the defensive aspects of this build, and I just don't have it. I have really unoptimized gear for being a range character. So like I've probably switched a little bit too soon, and that's going to impact me. But what I also want to do, and something that I've decided I want to do as a test for myself and my build, is I want to make sure I can do it unoptimized because that's how it's going to become season release. What I also want to be able to do is then work towards improving to try and figure out um, like what we're doing. Like we can figure out how to optimize it and where the big upgrades are as we're going along. So just putting all my skills in here, we're going to go and put all our aspects in. Like I said, if you're building around certain uniques, you want to make sure that you've got everything else built around. What I tend to work with is helmet, chest, legs, all being super defensive, gloves, being kind of their utility slot, rings, necklace, oh sorry, rings and like dual wield necklace for rogue, dual wield, sorry, rings and dual wield weapons for rogue, especially with the range build being that kind of filler slots, and then amulet and weapon being them big hitter aspects. So, like I said, we've probably switched a little bit too soon. We don't have all the aspects we need, but yeah, I mean, there's going to be a couple of episodes of this. I feel like this was a little bit rushed and kind of fast paced and crazy, but hopefully by the end of this little mini series, you'll be a lot more comfortable with creating your own builds or editing your own builds. And that would be my goal. So thanks for watching, guys, and more coming soon.